Welcome to Mindset Now. I am Chad Martin along with Dr. Mike Cockrell and William Leishman. This is our new weekly podcast series where we focus on converting negative mindsets into positive. We will be bringing in different guests from time to time and covering many topics. So if you have a suggestion for a topic you'd like us to discuss, then send us an email to yourmindsetnow@gmail.com. All right, and we're back for our final segment of this episode. And we just, again, want to thank you so much for tuning in. If you have a question for any of us about anything that we've talked about or things that you might want to talk about in the future, the email address is yourmindsetnow@gmail.com. Just drop us a line, and we'll try to get to those in future episodes. So, let's kind of get into this last segment of the day. And you touched on it earlier. There's so much we can talk about.
Right.
I mean, just so much. And we've given you a little bit of information on this, and trust me, this is going to be a few episodes running where we really are talking about the law of attraction. So buckle up, because it's really going to be interesting to do that. So, Billy, you had a question.
Yeah, I think that everybody's really interested in knowing what some of these techniques to start reprogramming these memes are. I mean, I'm sure it's not an overnight process, but what are some basic introductory techniques that they could maybe learn and start trying to apply immediately?
Okay. I've actually got an entire segment that we'll do later on very specific techniques, but let's sort of talk about that right now. How do you get started? What I wanted to do today is make sure that when we walk away from today's talk, you've got a firm idea of what you have to do today to start moving things in the right direction. Let me sort of summarize things as we go now. What we talked about sort of so far is that we know that our thoughts are powerful. And we know that the emotional state that we're in is powerful. And so, if you really, truly want to be effective, here's what you need to do. You need to spend some time thinking about what it is that you truly want to achieve. And that may be, and I would encourage you actually, and this again, we'll delve into this a little more too in the next segment, because one of the things that's important for you to understand if you want to be effective with the law of attraction is you have to be intentional about what you're doing. And when I say intentional, I mean you have to know why you're doing something, and there has to be some passion in it. And it has to be something that brings joy into your life. If you can't just say, I want to make $1 million and then go out and try to find a job that you despise and think that's going to happen, because the likelihood of that happening is pretty slim. So what I want you to do is very simply this. Step number 1, write down the 10 things that you think are your primary goals in your life. List 10 goals. Once you've got those 10 goals listed of the things that you really are focused on, that you really want to achieve. And I know in some of our conversation, you're really interested in making videos. So, write down a goal that's not just, I want to do videos, but here are the kind of videos I want to do. I want to make movies. I want to be a filmmaker. I want to make full feature movies. I want to make, whatever kind of movie. Describe it in detail. You need to see that image of what you want to do as vividly as possible. Okay. So close your eyes and really focus on that. List the top 10 things that you want. Okay, the second step of that process is go back through that list of 10, and as you read through them, pay attention to how it makes you feel. We had a conversation over the break about some ideas about expanding our program, and one of the things that I pointed out to you is I have certain criteria about what I do. It's not really necessarily about making things bigger always, it's about making things that work to fit my ideal.
Right.
So if you're looking at making films, for example, and you want to be a full feature filmmaker, but you don't want to travel out of the country, think about that. How's it going to make you feel if you have to go around the world? If you really love that kind of stuff, what if you have a family and kids that you don't want to be away from? Pay attention to the emotion behind the goal. Okay? And then the third thing that you really need to do is when you pay attention to the emotion, whittle that list down to 3 things, the top 3 things that actually make you feel good. If you honestly look at something on your list and say, man, I'd sort of like to do that, but I don't know that I'd like that. I don't know that that's not supposed to be on your list. Get it off your list and whittle it down to the top 1, 2, or 3 things, no more than 3. And then what you do is you create those goals. We'll talk more specifically about something, but just in a nutshell, I'm going to run through this real quick.
Right.
What I would do then is I would say, okay, for example, I'm going to use an example of an internet marketing thing, because that's one of the projects I'm working on right now. Is I want my internet marketing business to produce $30,000 a month in revenue between now and the end of 2014. So that's my goal. So how do I create that vivid image? What you want to do is you want to begin to create a story behind that. So, you know, my normal routine, and we've chatted about this sort of offline, but my normal routine is I get up every morning at 5:30. I have sort of a set protocol of journaling that I do. I go through a series of mindset things that I do, and then I sort of think about putting my goals, and I take some action steps on the things that I'm doing to move that internet marketing business forward. Some days that's writing a blog, some days that's posting an ad, some days that's following up on an email series. So I have these specific steps that I do. So what I would do is I would sit down and I would create a little story around that and said, okay, today is January the 1st, 2015. I'm sitting here at my kitchen table. It's been a beautiful morning. The sun is beginning to come up over the clouds, and I'm opening up the back office to my internet-based marketing business, and there it is. Last month I had $34,216.43 in revenue.
Wow. Okay.
So begin to create that image, incorporate all your senses. You know, the smell in the air this morning, it's this January morning, and it's fresh and it's crisp. The temperature's 34 degrees outside, and it's just a wonderful day. So the more you create that good feeling, the more you're going to influence your subconscious mind to start working on the processes to make that your reality. If you just write it down and throw it in a closet, you actually may be surprised at the results you get out of that too. But if you really want to accelerate those results, you want to begin to create a vivid image, incorporating your senses into what you're doing. Because the more you can think it, feel it, touch it, smell it, see it, the more real it becomes, and your subconscious takes that programming that you're consciously sticking in there, because you're giving it specific dates, you're giving it specific amounts, you're giving it specific knowledge about what's supposed to be happening, and it will begin to form your reality out of that ideal that you have created there. So that's the first step.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting.
That's the first step that I would do. And then we'll talk about a lot of things, because the emotional part is critical. From that point, what you have to do, once you've created that image, is now you have to create a daily routine. And that's probably a segment all in of itself of how to create a daily routine, because you want to now take your concept, take your idea, take that vivid picture that you've created in your mind, and start doing things every day that will move you toward that goal. Don't just assume it's just going to fall out of the sky, because that pot of gold very seldom just falls into your lap. But if you create the mindset, you program your subconscious, and you take daily action. You know, if it's internet marketing, I have to post that blog. I have to do my marketing every day. If I don't do my marketing, I'm not going to get results. If I don't get results, then I'm not going to get to that vision. But if I create that vision and then put myself in a place each and every day where I'm doing some type of action to move me forward, then you're aligning yourself to take full advantage of the law of attraction.
Yeah, because we're in the midst of making a movie, and it's the first time we've really put that out there that we're doing that. But one of the goals has been every day to write. Our goal is to by the end of this month have the screenplay written, and it's already well on its way. But that was the mindset. We said we're going to make this a reality. It wasn't that one day I want to make a movie. It wasn't about that. It's about what, we're going to make this movie. We used to always just say, oh, it'd be great if we did this and if we did that. But our mindset became so much that what, we're going to make this happen. We have the talent, we have the ability to make it happen.
Right.
Now we're going to act on all those dreams and desires we had and put it into a real physical goal that we can see each step of the way. So when I go home at night, I know that I'm going to sit down for an hour or two every night. I'm writing and I'm excited to do it.
That's exactly what you have to do.
And it makes a difference when you're excited about getting into a project because it's something that you love. So don't pick goals that you're really not excited about. I mean, if you're
a
going to be,
waste of time.
if you're saying, oh, my goal is to be a doctor, but you hate medicine, you don't want to see blood and sick people freak you out, then don't be a doctor. You know, you might as well not do that. But the goals need to be your goals that you truly feel. And I think what you're talking about, getting in that process, putting the emotion into it and seeing if it's something that you really, what the effect is when you think about it.
Right.
That will tell you everything you need to know.
Yeah.
But now, I think, the initial struggle is going to be just overcoming that laziness, at first.
Laziness is a choice.
Right, but is there going to come a time where it's not, where it's more of a second nature than it is having to consciously push yourself to take these steps?
If you truly are seeking the things you're passionate about, yes, it will become second nature. If you're truly doing the things you're passionate, if you're having to struggle to get up and do it, you're barking up the wrong tree. No matter how much you think it's your goal, you're out of sync with your passion, your purpose, and that's never going to work for you probably. So if you're already having trouble getting started because you don't feel motivated to do something, you're probably doing the wrong thing.
And guys, it's been a great episode today, and unfortunately we've got to close it down. But next week, we're really going to be talking about probably the emotion side of the law of attraction. And that's going to be a big segment for us because there's so much that goes into that. We briefly touched on that here and now. But I'm Chad Martin, again with Dr. Mike Cockrell,
Thank you,
William Leishman. It's been a lot of fun today and a lot of knowledge. Again, if you have a question for us, yourmindsetnow@gmail.com. Send it to us. Jack Canfield's book, Keys to the Law of Attraction. Great book, great read. Guys, get involved in your future and the life you want to live. We'll see you guys next week.
Have a great day.